On today's video, more gift ideas for the outdoors person. Today we're going to be going over this Clam portable propane heater. Hey there, outdoor YouTubers. Well, if you follow the channel, you already know that here at Connector's Practical Outdoors, we like to do a lot of ice fishing and we like to do a lot of deer hunting. And most of this deer hunting is done from box blinds, so I'm always using propane heaters for both of these activities. Well, this fall, I got one of these Clam CH16000 propane heaters. You know the Clam company. They've been making awesome ice fishing equipment for years. Well, now they have a lineup of portable propane heaters too. So let's go through some of the features on this 16,000 and I'll kind of show you why I think this is a great option for hunters and ice fishermen. The first thing that caught my eye about this particular Clam heater is that it has several different heat settings to match the conditions that you're in. Most heaters that are about this physical size generally just have high, low, and off. Well, this Clam heater has variable controls from 6,000 to 16,000 BTUs. And another thing that I love about this heater is that it has electronic ignition. So it is way quieter to light this heater than a lot of those other heaters. You know how some of those other heaters, you got to kind of push that button in and they make that real loud clunking noise as you're doing it, and most of the time you got to repeat it several times to get the heater to light. Yeah, that's actually the noise that some of those other heaters make as you're trying to light them. I really don't want to have to make that kind of a noise when I'm out in the deer blind, right? Now, at first I was like, oh, this heater lights really quietly with this electronic ignition, but the downside is it does need a battery for that, so you got to worry about the battery going dead. But, you know, if you stop and think about it for more than 2 seconds, guys, right? All the stuff you bring out hunting in your hunting pack, all the stuff that you bring out on the ice when you're ice fishing, carrying along one more AAA battery as a spare is really no big deal. And not only is that electronic ignition quieter, but it also gives a longer, steadier spark, so it's just easier to light it with this electronic ignition too. So this heater lights up real quiet, and it also runs quiet too. And of course, that's another pretty cool thing when you're out in the deer blind. And here's another pretty cool thing about this Clam heater. It actually houses 2 1-pound propane tanks on it. So you're going to be changing those tanks out less often than you would with other heaters. And of course, less changing of the tanks means less noise out in the deer blind too. And if you really don't want to change tanks very often, this Clam heater does accept the 20-pound cylinders too. And another thing I like about this Clam heater is that the tanks on the sides are protected by these little doors. Now, I know that maybe doesn't seem like much, but I'm sure a lot of you guys, me included, have had heaters in the past where the tanks are just kind of hanging off the side, and it's very easy to bump that tank into stuff. Right? You take the heater, you put it in the back of your ice fishing sled, you take off across the ice, you know, maybe it's behind a snowmobile or a four-wheeler, and that tank is just banging against the sides of the sled, and that makes it real easy to mess the threads up on the heater. And that's not the only thing that helps protect this heater. The grating in the front is real heavy duty, the handle is heavy duty. It really has the look and feel of something that can handle some abuse. So, when I get out to the deer blind on a frosty morning, I turn this Clam on and I crank it up and within a couple minutes the entire deer blind is warm. Then I turn the heater down to one of its lower settings, or maybe even just to the pilot light. And then a little later, if it starts to get a little cold, I can just turn the heater on to one of the little bit higher settings, and I don't even have to reignite the heater. So this Clam 16000 has all the BTUs to heat up your ice shack or your deer blind on the coldest days, but it also has all the variable controls to match the conditions that you're in. If you want to check out one of these Clam heaters, I'll leave a link to the Clam website down in the description of this video.